you know? And of course, my first songs were like very long and literally a translation of my diary and like music,
It's like
you know?
7 minutes later. It's like, oh, I
Yeah,
think I
yeah,
should
yeah.
probably wrap
It was
this
a
up.
Taylor Swift All Too Well 10-minute version for sure.
Hey there, and welcome to Takeout and Talk, a new series from Cocina and Mecenas Media where culture's always on the menu, even if it arrives in a paper box. I'm Xorje Olivares, and I'm joined by a fascinating singer-songwriter today who goes by the name of Nick. Now, if you're a music lover, especially of pop rock in Spanish, then you might know Nick. She formerly went by the name of Nicole Zignago, which is her birth name. But she's entering this new era of artistry, this new era of being that she's excited to share with the world. Now, it's on the heels of a new single release. The single's called Feliz por ti. It's going to be part of a new album that she's working on. But she's starting to become this new artist and this new person. And she says that she's falling more in love with who this person is. And she's excited to share that not only with her fans, but other folks who are appreciative of the work that she's been doing since the 2020s. Because she's a 4 times Latin Grammy Award nominated artist, most recently this past year, especially for her first album. So we'll talk about her successes. We'll talk about the direction she's headed in now. And we'll talk about why it always leads back to her home country of Peru. So excited to welcome Nick to Take Out and Talk. Well, Nick, I'm excited for us to chat and to meet in this wonderful virtual way where as if we've learned anything after the pandemic is you can have meaningful conversation with people even if you're not in the same region. Like right now you're joining me from Peru, I'm in San Francisco, the wonders of technology.
Yeah.
But I'm excited that we could chat not only about your new music, about this new era of music that you're entering into. And if I saw this correctly, you and I are chatting before a birthday.
Yes.
So thank you for spending that time with me. Thank you for
A
joining us
couple
today.
days before birthday, yeah.
Well, I'm excited because as somebody who's dating a Capricorn, I know quite a lot about Capricorns. Is that something that you believe in, like that sort of astrological, the characteristics tied to astrological signs?
Yeah, for sure. I do.
What would you say are some of the key things that stand out to you as being a Capricorn?
Definitely workaholic. It's hard for me to stop thinking about work. Um, I'm very, I'm not super organized. They say like Capricorns are like super mega organized. I'm like chaotically organized, I would say.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm very honest and very direct. Sometimes it's not hard, but sometimes people that don't know me, when I say something, they kind of like, I'm not like super extra soft with like the way I say things.
Hmm.
I like that, honestly. Like, I don't,
We need more people like that.
yeah, like, it's like, skip the intro, like when they text me like, "Hi, how are you?" I'm like, "You don't want to know how I am."
Yeah.
Like, let's just get straight to it. But yeah, I think those are the things that que me caracterizan más como
Hmm.
Capricornio.
Well, because you are a self-described workaholic, I'm glad that we could take some time away from your work to not only talk but to eat. So, if
Yes.
you could share with us, what did you order for your conversation
So,
today?
so I'm Peruvian, right? And in like the 50s, around like the 50s, there was a big migration of Japanese people to my country. There's a big Japanese culture in my country. I grew up influenced by Japanese culture, my whole country, and the merge of Japanese culture, food, and Peruvian is called Nikkei. And I consider that the best sushi you can find aside from Japan is my country.
Ooh, that's a big claim.
I order a Nikkei plate that is like I don't know if you can guys can see, but it's like you're gonna think that it's like regular sushi, but
Oh, that looks good.
it's like Nikkei sushi, so Peruvian and Japanese sushi.
Nice. Okay, now, so I just recently came back from Japan, had
Oh
sushi
my
in
God, I'm dying to go.
Japan. Offline, we'll talk about all the great places that you can hit up. But now I need to go to Peru to try some sushi there to see
Yes.
if it
Yeah.
rivals the original place.
Yeah.
I'll say that for me, I got what's called a Frisco omelet. They call San Francisco Frisco. It is a nickname of the city. But can I show you that they gave me like three aguacates sliced up on top of this omelet? And like aguacates are expensive. Let's not pretend here,
Yes.
especially here
Yeah.
in the
Especially
States.
in the States.
So the fact that there's so much sliced avocado on this omelet that has cheese, it has apple sausage, has a lot of grilled veggies inside. I decided to opt for a side salad because as much as I wanted the potatoes that come on the side normally from this place called Plain Jane, I went with the
Mhm.
salad. But excited to like maybe save some of this avocado for later. There's like
Yeah.
so much, but I love that you and I chose like very distinctly different places for our meals today. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so I know that it's mostly holiday season. Like I'm sure that's influencing you going back home, or were there other like because I think you're normally based in Miami.
Yeah. I'm based in Miami, but I always come in December for the holiday seasons and spend Christmas with my family, my mom, my siblings, my grandparents they're still here. So every time I have a chance to spend time with them, I do. And I cannot miss out on Peruvian holiday food and also my birthday. So
I'm curious, especially as somebody who has devoted their life to music, a singer-songwriter, somebody who's been in the business for a few years now, about kind of the sounds that you grew up with and the sounds that you surround yourself with in order to decide to pursue this career. What are some of those things that immediately come to mind that you feel were very influential to you growing up?
for sure, traditional Peruvian music, I grew up dancing to it. I danced until I was like 18 in like throughout like high school. A lot of festejo, huayno, saya, that are all typical sounds from Peru, and saya is also from Bolivia and like the Andean region of South America. And specifically in festejo, there's a lot of cajon peruano and a lot of rhythmic patterns. And in huayno, a lot of beautiful melodies that I think I sometimes naturally like sprinkle here and there in my songs. Um, so yeah, definitely. I can even tell that I studied percussion when I was in college. I did like some courses of percussion in college, and it just comes so natural to me because I danced it for so long. It's just like
Hmm.
impregnado en mi ADN how I feel the beats and the melodies in from specifically la parte andina de Sudamérica. So yeah,
Hmm.
for sure. Those are like definitely sounds that have influenced me.
I'm definitely jealous because I feel like even though I grew up playing instruments, I played the piano, and then like every good Mexican boy, I played trumpet because I was in
Yeah.
a mariachi group. I wish I played percussion. I think
Mhm.
there's something about understanding the pulse of
Yeah.
music and being able to provide that pulsation of music that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Um, if you could talk a little bit about, you've had a chance to live in many different cities throughout the world, essentially. Living in Los Angeles, went to school in Berklee College of Music in Boston, now living in Miami. Are there other sounds, aparte de what you've learned from being from Peru, that that you've brought with you that kind of stick out?
Hmm. Probably when I lived in Mexico, I never used to listen to banda. Banda is a very like recent new sound for me in the last couple of years, especially with like the burst of regional mexicano sounding everywhere.
Yeah.
And it all started to happen when I was living in Mexico and also living there. We were just talking with Sophie, She's my personal manager. We were talking in a meeting before this interview. I was telling her I had a partner who one time serenaded me with some mariachis, and it was very new to me. Like I've never experienced that before, and I think those are sounds that I don't know if I don't think that I've included in my like music specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but now there are sounds that make me feel at home, kind of, because I lived in Mexico for 3 years, and not only in that specific occasion, but walking in the street and when you're eating somewhere and a musician pops up out of nowhere and starts playing
I
something,
love that feeling.
it makes me feel like at home because I lived there and I experienced it for 3 years. So definitely Mexico has a very special place in my heart with all their sounds, music wise, and also street sounds. La señora del camote y la de se venden, se
The
compran,
paletero who's coming doing his little thing.
everything. And also in Peru, like it's so funny and interesting and makes me feel nostalgic when I remember going to my grandma's house and listening to the the guy that afila cuchillos, that sharpens the knife. They walk around the block asking for like cuchillos, cuchillos, and you would come outside and give them your knife so they can be sharpened. And they make a specific sound with the knife and the wheel that they sharpen the knife with.
Mm-hmm.
They just stay outside and make that sound so everybody knows that he's there and you can go and sharpen your knives. That's
Yeah,
so beautiful.
that's cool. The funny thing is, banda music, it's not at the top of my list. I grew up listening to a lot of Tejano music, more of the norteño music. Banda
Yeah,
doesn't really fall close to the top, but it definitely is influential, the sound of home. And I
yeah.
think that's the thing that resonates with me is it just reminds me of a place that means so much to me.
Mm,
And
beautiful.
I can imagine that for you as a musical artist, as somebody who's trying to kind of carve your unique space in this industry, that you also want a distinct sound that's very much Nick's sound.
Mm.
So for those who are maybe meeting you for the first time today and trying to become familiar with your work, with all the sounds you've collected, how would you define the sound that you have today?
I hope that whatever answer I give you right now is not the same one that I give you the next time we meet, because I would want to always keep evolving and contradict myself because I think that's the only way to grow and to
Yeah.
learn new things. So, right now, today, probably always pop, but I would classify it as alternative and singer-songwriter. With sometimes in some parts of my songs like a little bit of pop rock. I grew up listening to Paramore, who I love. I'm obsessed with Haley and all their discography, so I think I have a lot of influence from that. Not like super like punk rock
Yes.
at all. I'm very singer-songwriter, but there's some drums and some things that I put in my songs that are a little bit more to the rock side, alternative side. Um, so yeah, pop, alternative, pop rock, nostalgic singer-songwriter.
I no, and I appreciate you saying that you don't want it to be the same answer today
Yeah.
as it will be hopefully the next time we chat, which I'm hoping is sooner than later because I think there's so much to really dissect with your music and so much to talk about. But I want to make sure, especially since you make this note of you want it to be different, you wanted to contradict yourself, that you are embarking on this new era as an artist where you are now going by Nick. It's a shortened version of your name, Nicole. But what was the impetus of this change, this new, as we're saying it, this new era of music that your fans are being exposed to?
I've been thinking about the name change for a while. It's been like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And more than a change of era for my music, it's more of like identity thing for myself. I haven't been resonating with my my DNA, my license
Yeah.
name for a while. I think it's attached to some memories that are not that nice for me, like emotionally. I had like an emotional, complicated 20s and
Mm-hmm.
closer to my 30s. I've become, and I think I'm becoming the woman that I've always wanted to be. And I'm very proud of that. And Nick is a name that people very close to my heart and people that are very important to me started to call me like 5 years ago. My fans call me Nick. My team calls me Nick. Um, and yeah, it's always been a nickname that I feel represents me even more than my actual name. So yeah, the album that I'm writing right now and it's gonna come out soon. Um, it also I started writing from a different place. I'm a very nostalgic person, and I don't think that's ever gonna change. I love nostalgia. It moves me, and I love romanticizing everything in my life because moon in Pisces.
Keep the thread going.
I think I've always created from a very nostalgic place in my heart, and I didn't know how to create from a happy, good place in my heart. I didn't know. I really didn't know, and it was very hard for me. And I was like, that's kind of sad that I don't know how to be creative or how to create when everything's okay. So, and it's nice that I've um, que he acudido, that I've gone to music and writing when I wasn't feeling seen or I was going through something. Music has saved me in so many ways. But I think it was a time for me to also take it as a place where I can be happy. I don't always have to be sad when I create something. And don't get me wrong, I'm always gonna keep writing like canciones de desamor because I just love to sing them even though I'm not in that place. Like más para la herida, mejor, and I love it. But
Hmm.
in this last couple years, I've met this version of myself, this Nick, that knows how to create from a good place.
What a beautiful way to be able to experience this point in your life where you already know that you are in love with the person that you're becoming or the person that you are always meant to be, and that it's happening simultaneously as you are doing the music thing. Um, was that hard trying to kind of have these things happen at the same time where you're trying to figure out you as not only the artist, but you as the person, and then trying to see if they translate to each other?
Hmm, yeah, for sure. But I think it happens to everybody in their career or in their professional lives. Like our 20s are such a weird time also. It's
They
like
really are.
yeah, it's so weird. It's like you're an adult, but you're not really an adult. But you're meant to. It's like your first baby years of being an adult. Like from one
Hmm.
to 10, you're just like a being receiving information, and then from 10 to 20, you're like learning a lot of things, but not executing them.
Yeah,
Just like then from 20 to 30, you're like, okay, first try in life. This is my first try of actually
it's like
applying
wish me
everything.
luck. Can I do it?
Let's go.
Hmm.
So at 21, you're literally a 1-year-old adult. Like, so I feel that I'm like graduating, you know, from my 10 years of being 20.
Yeah.
And it finally feels that I'm starting to become a full grown adult.
Okay. I believe me, I'm right there with you. I feel this incredibly deeply. So, would you say that the Nick in her 20s could not have written a song like Feliz por ti, which is your new single? That you needed to be past those years into these like, okay, I'm an adult year to really put the energy behind a song like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think Nicole in her 20s would have written something like in her early 20s from a different place. Like the experience she had that made her write Feliz por ti. It would have been written from a very nostalgic, sad place. Like, oh, I found out my ex. is with someone else and they live in the same apartment that I am, and oh, forever like a sad place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny actually. Let's make a funny song about it, you know?
When would you say you started the process of writing this new album that's going to have Feliz por Ti? Is it a more recent thing? Is it something that's been percolating for a while and it's now just finally being put to paper?
I released my first album May 2024, if I'm not mistaken. And then end of that year, I started like writing new songs that some of them are gonna be in the album.
Okay. Is that a difficult process trying to figure out what songs like warrant being on the album and which songs, whether you love them or not, or just like it doesn't feel right for this project?
I think for this album, I'm just a principiante writing albums. To be honest, it's just my second album.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of scared, to be honest. I was like, oh, okay, I did this whole thing for my first album, and I'm super proud of it. How am I gonna like make this better now? You know,
Yeah.
I did put a lot of pressure on me. It's like a baby, you know. I'm like I'm giving birth to this thing, creating this thing. Um, but for this album, the route that I took was just like I'm just gonna write and see what comes out, not with a specific theme or a specific concept for the album. I just needed to write and like how I was telling you before, just let everything that was going through my head and my heart and what I was feeling in the moment, como sí, como sacar un poco lo que estaba sintiendo to see what was the core of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I started doing that, and then I started realizing and having this conversation with myself of like, oh, okay, I feel that I need to learn how to create from this good place because I was feeling that I wasn't getting cool, like good songs from it, you know? I was like, oh, okay. So I literally started calling the people that I love writing with and also asking for help. I think sometimes it's like, oh, I need to write everything myself. And it's so nice to learn from other people and other people and creatives way of creating. So I started surrounding myself with people that I knew that knew how to do that I wasn't being
Mm-hmm.
able to. The other integrante of that team is my intuition, and I love to listen and see what people have to say if I'm asking for an opinion, and like if they really, you know, like my producer, for example, Juan, I really trust his vision and everything that he, you know, suggests for the project and the songs. But if my intuition is telling me something else and really like is very insistent, I go for it. And I'm not also because I have so much confianza with them, there's a space to for me to be like, you know what, it's this, and we're going with this, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that being guided by your intuition and making sure that that's one of the voices that you hear. Because I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of people, once you get into any particular industry, you start to get influenced by other voices when the one that really matters somehow falls to the side. I do want to say, because you did say, this is only going to be my second album, I'm still sort of new. You are a multiple Latin Grammy nominated artist. Like, you have already made your mark in this industry and amongst your peers. What was it like to find out that you had even been nominated?
It's been crazy. I do still feel like I just started. It's crazy. Like the imposter syndrome hits real hard. And yeah, it was 2022 when I got my first nomination for Best New Artist. It was crazy, insane. I cried all day. I cried for like the whole week. It's an honor to be recognized by the Academy and by your peers. It's truly an honor, and being nominated for my album too was a very precious one because I put my heart and soul to that one. And this year, I got nominated with my single "Te Quiero" for Best Pop Song, and seeing myself in that category with Shakira and Catriel Paco and people that I admire so much really truly means the world, and it just like fills up the tank with like gas to like keep going
Yeah.
what I'm doing. It's truly an honor.
It's like the pilas are in and they're just going to keep going,
Yeah.
going, 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 going.
Yeah.
But so, is a part of you, you still see yourself, even 3 years after this nomination, you still see yourself as a new artist, or uh, kind of like an emerging, like still, especially because now that you're going by Nick, I guess it is a new artist, would you say?
I mean, you're right. I don't think I see myself as a new artist for sure, but I still feel that an emerging artist. Um, I'm still not because I haven't achieved the things that I put in my list when I was
Yeah.
15, because life just does not work that way. If I follow the list, I would be married with a man right now with children.
Oh, the lists that society has told us that we need to be kind of
Yeah,
checking off.
yeah.
Now, something that you incorporate into your first album, which I'm sure a lot of people are hoping you're going to incorporate into the second album, is your lived experience and what it's like to be somebody who is another voice for the queer community, a voice that most folks don't get a chance to hear that often. If you could
Hmm.
talk a little bit about the decision making behind disclosing that part of you and making sure that fans knew that this is where you were coming from.
I think it was a very natural decision. I don't think I'm aware. It was a very natural decision. Um, I my music is very autobiographic, and I just tell my stories from my lived experiences, how you were saying, and I've I've been in love with women before, and I'm in love with a woman right now. It's who I am. It's how I live life. It's how I see life. I always want to make sure that I create a safe space for everybody. Of course, my music is not only targeted for LGBTQ plus community, but for everybody. But I'm aware how privileged I am with my story. My parents were always very accepting. My family, my chosen family, um, even the perception of how I look physically. I'm a white female that presents herself as very feminine, and that's how I feel comfortable, and that's a lot more accepting in society than any other race or ethnicity or skin color. That how I present myself is very seen. I'm seen a lot more than other women, and I know
Hmm.
that, not privilege, but I know that that's just how society works, and it's sorry.
No, I mean it is. There's always a perception, no matter where you are in the globe, of how you're meant to look if you are identified, if you
Yeah.
were born with a certain identification, whether it's male or female, and if there's any sort of strain away from that, everybody has ideas, everybody has feelings, everybody has something that they want to make you feel and agree with them on, even if it's not true. So I 100% know what you mean.
Yeah, for sure. So I've always tried to, it came super natural to me to talk about those things in my songs because it's just my life. But also now that they were there, I did want to make a point, and in my shows, I always make sure that I say that this is a safe space for everybody to be and feel and express themselves however they want to, that it's their home. And my songs are also their home and a safe space for them. So I hope at least when they listen to my music, all the noise shuts down and they can just feel accepted and loved and
Hmm.
seen by my music and by me, and share the music with the people who they also love. And I've had a bunch of parents come to my shows, or couples, telling me that their parents now accept them because I told my story, and they like seeing them singing my songs in the audience is just
Yeah.
huge gift. So I do definitely feel that I have a purpose with that, and I always want to talk about it. Something very important to me.
Well, I just, on behalf of everybody, thank you for doing that because I feel like as people who identify as queer, sometimes, especially if we're surrounded by a lot of other queer people, we forget the magnitude of seeing somebody else who's queer or LGBTQ identified doing something that they love doing and making themselves visible in that way. So
Yeah.
thank you for doing that, especially in a space like music that could sometimes feel unwelcoming to certain fans.
Hmm.
Um, I want to ask you from a songwriter's perspective, um, is there something that you were still scared to write about or something that you just really want to push yourself to get to be able to talk about?
Not really. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like mental health in the sense of, no, I've talked about it.
Like, scratch it off the list.
I'm
Been
like,
there,
I've
done
talked,
that.
yeah. No, I think there's nothing right now that, well, I've been wanting to write a song about my siblings, like the love that I have for my siblings for a while. And I haven't gotten to it. So maybe that's something, not because I can't or I haven't been able to. It's just there's so much love that I think I don't know how to express it in a paper and like a song
Mm. But
for now.
there's something special about that fearlessness, though. Like being able to recognize that as an artist, as a singer-songwriter, that there's no territory that you're unwilling to kind of venture into, which is exciting.
Yeah.
What is there a different feeling you get when you hear a song that you've written versus a song that you've sung? And can
Hmm.
you describe how those, like, maybe all the feels happen differently for you?
Very completely different feelings. Like when I listen to a song that I've written and I've sung, um, it hits very like close to home, especially if I've written something like very personal and heartfelt. Hearing those words in my own voice make me very emotional, and it's like a very kind of even like spiritual moment,
Mm-hmm.
and makes me proud, of course, but also like when I listen to a song that's been written by me, sung by another person, it's just so much magic too. And so I feel so proud too that I've been part of something that now another person is singing and we're telling a story that's not mine, but it's theirs. It's like mi lado de actriz to put
Mm-hmm.
myself in some other person's shoes.
Yeah.
That makes me feel very proud too, and it's fun. It's fun to hear something that you've written sung by somebody else.
Okay. Well, to sort of bring our time to a close, since you did say that you want this to be this era to be a little bit different than maybe the next time we talk. So let's say I'm going to take this snippet. I'm going to play it for you the next time we talk. What is one thing you want to tell your future self about either music, about who you are, whatever it is? What do you want future Nick to be able to see?
I want her to keep trusting her intuition. I want her to always stick to her authenticity because I know that that's something that I told you that I always try to listen to when I'm creating, but also I think it's hard in this interest in this industry when you meet so many people and you compare yourself also so much to lose sight and stop hearing what you were meant to be listening to.
Yeah.
So I think that could also be tied to, I would tell future Nick to keep listening to her younger self, to the kid that dreamt of being where she's right now. Because she's the one that's dreaming all those things. I'm only the one that's creating those possibilities and making her live her dream. The one that the Nick that's on stage, it's not me right now. It's literally little Nick at 12, 10 years old, dying to be an artist. So my job is to just, your job, Nick, is to keep making her dreams be real, you know?
Let me take off the mic. I'm going to drop it. It's like beautiful, beautiful imagery. But I think that's so true. I think everything that we all try to do in our professional lives is some sort of extension of the little kids that are within us that
Yeah.
really wanted to do all the things and sort of break out and be who we were really meant to be, especially if we grew up as queer kids.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to remind folks that the new single's out now, Feliz por ti. Make sure you watch the music video. Make sure you follow Nic on socials so that way you can keep tabs of all of the wonderful work that she's doing and also listen to the past work because, again, multiple Latin Grammy nominated artist here who is clearly seen as a force to be reckoned with in this industry. Any other things that you want to let our listeners or your fans know about sort of what to listen to, where to follow, how they can get all the good Nic news?
They can get all the good Nic news at any platform, social media. And I'm always going to be at Nic, especially on Instagram. I at Nic underscore. I talk a lot on Instagram. I always post stories, and you're always going to get all the good updates. If you want to see the goofy side of me, you can go on TikTok. That's here. But yeah, a lot of music coming up soon, and always it's not a non-stopping thing with music now. We're not going to stop.
I love it. Well, I should remind folks if you want to see pictures of the Peruvian sushi that Nic ordered and the insanely large omelet with the 3 avocados cut on top that I received here in San Francisco, just go to the wearecocina.com website. Also follow us on all socials, We Are Cocina, at We Are Cocina, and myself at Xorje O, Xorjeo. But Nic, I'm going to hold you to it that we're going to talk again, hopefully when this new album's out, and we'll play what you've said to yourself, and we'll have a great time, and maybe we'll have a different meal during that time. So
Love that. I love
very much
that.
looking forward to it.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Takeout and Talk is a Cocina and Mecenas media production. It's hosted and produced by me, Xorje Olivares. Special thanks to Mecenas Chief Creative Officer, Sarah North, and its Head of O&O and Audience Development, Laura Del Proyecto. For more Takeout and Talk, visit our YouTube page or wearecocina.com.